Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into, well, just an extraordinary life, really. The documented story of the Geisha Sayuri.
It's a journey that takes us from this collapsing fishing village in Japan,
Right, all the way to the absolute peak of Joan society.
and then, incredibly, ends up on the 32nd floor of the Waldorf Towers in New York City, of all places.
Amazing. And our main source here is Sayuri's own dictated memoir.
That's right. Dictated, not written.
Hmm.
Compiled by the historian Jacob Senseier. And he frames it perfectly, I think.
What that rabbit analogy?
Exactly. He says, a memoir gives you the memoirist's world. It's like asking a rabbit to describe itself hopping through a field. The rabbit tells you everything about the field, the grass, the smells, the dangers, its world.
But not what the rabbit actually looked like hopping through it. It can't see itself from the outside.
Precisely. So Sayuri gives us this incredibly intimate look at the world of Gion, its strategies, its realities.
And the fact she dictated it, that feels significant. Over 18 months, starting in 85.
It really does. She apparently said she was just so accustomed to talking face-to-face.
Yeah.
Writing alone felt unnatural.
Which makes sense for a geisha, right? Their whole art is interactive, performance, conversation.
Absolutely. So the dictation kind of keeps that immediacy, that conversational feel.
And her final destination, 40 years after leaving Japan, she's in this elegant Japanese-style suite in the Waldorf Towers. Still influential.
Still receiving cabinet ministers, intellectuals, even apparently figures from organized crime. It wasn't exactly a quiet retirement.
It shows that strategic mind she honed in. Gion just never switched off, did it?
Not at all. So our mission today really is to unpack how this child from such humble beginnings in Yoroido,
A really traumatic start.
how she learned the skills to navigate power at such a high level, internationally even.
Okay, let's start there. Yoroido, the tipsy house.
Right. Call that because it was literally tilting on the sea cliffs.
Yeah.
A very precarious existence.
And Chiyo, that was her birth name. She had this one defining feature. Her eyes.
Those translucent gray eyes. So rare in Japan, where almost everyone has dark eyes, it marked her out immediately.
Her mother had a theory about them.
Yeah, she believed their eyes were pale, like hers, because their personalities had too much water. A sort of poetic, maybe fatalistic view.
Like she was destined to be different.
Perhaps. And that difference, combined with the poverty, really set the stage for the turning point when she was 9.
The fall on the road.
Yes, she fell, ended up at the Japan Coastal Seafood Company, and met Mr. Tanaka Ichiro.
He ran the business.
He was the adopted son running it, and he noticed her eyes straight away.
Not necessarily out of kindness, though.
No, it was more recognition. He apparently asked her point blank why her eyes were like that, why she didn't look like her father.
Oof.
He saw an asset, something marketable.
And that led to him arranging for her and her sister Satsu to be taken away, under false pretenses.
A complete betrayal. Years later, Sayuri reflected on it, saying, Tanaka had taken me from my mother and father, sold me into slavery, sold my sister into something even worse.
It's just chilling. That quote really lays bare the transactional nature of it all.
Absolutely. And then the shock of arriving in Kyoto. It must have been overwhelming.
Seeing electric lights for the first time, thinking the Minamiza Theater was a palace.
Yes, completely unprepared for this sophisticated, constructed world she was about to enter.
She ends up at the Nita Okiya. We often just say geisha house, but it's more complex than that, isn't it?
Oh, much more. And Okiya was essentially a business, a hierarchical structure, almost like a mini village within Kyoto.
Run by the mother.
Right. And the key thing is debt. The mother bought the girls' contracts, paid for everything, training, kimonos, food. This huge debt tied them to the Okiya.
So Chiyo arrives there as essentially property, and she meets another girl, Pumpkin.
Yeah, her first sort of ally. Nicknamed for her round face and how her tongue stuck out when she concentrated.
Like a pumpkin stem? Okay.
But Chiyo wasn't training yet. She was just a maid, working under the established and apparently quite cruel star geisha, Hatsumomo.
Right, so let's talk about what being a geisha actually meant. It gets misunderstood in the West sometimes.
It really does. The word geisha itself, gai means arts. So literally artist or artisan. That's the core of it.
And the arts they had to master. It's a serious list.
It's immense. Shamisen, the 3-stringed instrument, classical dance, the tsutsumi, a small drum, tea ceremony, nagauta singing, plus reading and writing. It's rigorous training.
But the identity isn't just the skill, it's the construction, the performance.
Exactly. Sayuri notes how Hatsumo looked like any other woman until the makeup went on. The white paste, the drawn eyebrows, That's when the geisha persona appeared. It's a transformation.
And Chiyo's own transformation from maid to trainee really kicks off when Mamea steps in.
Yes, Mameha, a very famous and successful geisha, agrees to be her one son, her older sister or mentor.
Which involves ceremony.
A formal sister ceremony. Drinking sake, 3 sips from 3 cups, it seals that professional bond, that mentorship.
And Mamea chooses her professional name, Sayuri. That wasn't random, was it?
Oh, not at all. Pure strategy mixed with tradition. Mamea consulted a fortune teller.
Really?
Yes, the characters were chosen carefully. Sai for together, Yu from the hen zodiac sign for balance, Ri for understanding, and crucially, the total stroke count of the characters had to be lucky.
Wow. Setting her up for success from the name itself.
In a world steeped in symbols and superstition, absolutely.
And the training under Mamea sounds intense. Specific techniques for everything.
Oh, incredibly detailed, like how to walk. Mamea taught her to take tiny steps, keeping the kimono hem fluttering just so.
To look like waves rippling over a sandbar. That's such a vivid image.
Isn't it? All about controlled grace. And Sayuri was so dedicated, she'd practice her shamisen fingerings mentally while running errands. No wasted moments.
Real dedication. But underneath all this art, there's the hard reality of money. The Gion Registry Office, the former sumo wrestler.
A Wajiumi.
Right.
His job basically highlights that Gion was, first and foremost, a business district. He managed the accounts, the flow of cash.
Ensuring debts were tracked, payments made.
Exactly. Keeping the financial engine running. Because it was an engine, fueled by the geisha's earnings.
And the biggest financial event for a young geisha was her mizwage.
Her coming of age, yes. Symbolically important, but also financially massive. It could potentially pay off a huge chunk of her debt to the Okiya.
But Sayuri had a problem. Hatsumo had kind of poisoned the well, hadn't she? Sabotaged her reputation.
She had. Made her seem like damaged goods in exile, which is where Mamea pulls off this masterstroke.
Okay.
Instead of hiding Sayuri, she engineers a bidding war for her mizwage.
Between Nobu?
The chairman's business partner, representing stability, long-term patronage.
And Dr. Crab?
Yes, Dr. Crab. Known as a mizwage specialist. A rather peculiar man.
Peculiar how?
Well, his interest seemed almost academic. He was willing to pay huge amounts just for the ritual itself. And he had this collection.
Specimens.
Yes. Stained cotton swabs, bits of fabric from the geisha patronized, kept in labeled glass vials.
Good grief, that's clinical and unsettling.
It really underscores how transactional it could be for some patrons. About status, collection, not connection. He even had one from Mameha.
But the strategy worked for Sayuri.
Spectacularly. Dr. Crab paid an unprecedented $11,500. The highest price ever recorded in Gion at that time.
Wow. That must have infuriated Hatsumo.
Completely, and it basically sealed her fate. It led directly to the final showdown.
Right, Hatsumo gets drunk, reads Sayuri's private journal.
Which Sayuri had cleverly written using code names Mr. Tu for Nobu, Mr. Ha for the chairman.
Smart.
And Sayuri sees her chance. Hatsumo is drunk, vulnerable.
She doesn't just fight back, though. She turns the tables strategically.
Exactly. She retrieves the journal, protecting her secrets. But then she does something brilliant. She claims the emerald obi brooch.
The brooch Hatsumo accused her of stealing years before.
The very one. By reclaiming it, proving Hatsumo's past lie, she gives Mother the perfect, undeniable reason to finally expel Hatsumo from the Okiya.
It wasn't just revenge. It was clearing the path. Removing the obstacle.
Precisely. Very strategic.
So Hatsumo's gone. Sayuri's path seems clear towards her ultimate goal, the chairman. But first, she needs a Dana.
A long-term patron, yes. And Nobu is the one who wants the role.
Let's clarify, Dana. It's not just a lover, right? It's more structural.
Absolutely. A Dana was a serious financial commitment. He'd pay off her remaining debts, cover living costs, fund her kimonos, her arts, basically ensure her professional stability and independence from the Okiya.
A huge deal. But Sayuri didn't want Nobu.
No, because being Nobu's geisha would mean she could never, ever have a relationship with the chairman, the man she truly desired.
Which leads to that desperate plan on Amami Island.
A massive gamble. Seduce the visiting minister, someone powerful but whom she finds repulsive, and arrange for Nobu to witness it.
Hoping the dishonor would make Nobu give up on being her Dana.
Right. But the act itself, she describes it as physically disgusting.
The minister's saliva, like fish residue from Uroida, a horrible echo of her past.
A real low point. Endured for a strategic aim. But the plan goes disastrously wrong.
Because it isn't Nobu who walks in.
No. It's the chairman. The one person she desperately didn't want to see that.
And who brings him? pumpkin.
Pumpkin, her supposed childhood friend, showing this deep, hidden well of bitterness over Sayuri's success.
Oh, that's brutal. Maximum damage intended.
Utterly devastating for Sayuri. Her whole strategy, her hopes, just collapse in that moment.
But then, world events intervene. World War II.
Yes. Ironically, the war provides a kind of escape. Nobu, despite everything, is still loyal in his way. He arranges for her safety.
Sends her away from the dangers of the cities.
To live with the Arashino family, kimono makers, in a safer part of Kyoto that largely escaped the firebombing.
Survival during the war seems so random, didn't it?
Completely. While Sayuri was safe, we hear about others. Geisha Raiha killed in Tokyo, Momeha's maid Tatsumi in Nagasaki. The Baron, losing everything post-war, drowns himself. Their whole world just shattered.
And after the war, when things settle down, the chairman reappears.
And finally, confesses. He tells her he'd cared for her, watched over her, ever since he first saw her as a child crying by the stream after her failed escape attempt.
All those years ago, so his distance, it was intentional.
Apparently so. A strategic choice on his part, perhaps, to let her flourish without his direct involvement causing complications earlier.
And then he facilitates her move to the U.S. in 1956.
Yes, funds it, arranges it, which sounds romantic, but
There was a strategic reason for him, too.
definitely. He needed to adopt an heir for his company's future. Having a known long-term connection to a geisha, even a former one, was an obstacle.
So moving her to New York solved his problem while securing her future. Cold, but effective.
Very. And she embraces it. Runs a small tea house near Fifth Avenue, studies poetry, music.
And finally breaks free financially.
That's key. By leaving Japan, she cuts the final ties, the debt obligations, to mother and the Okiya system. She's finally independent.
Living in the Waldorf Towers, her own woman. What an incredible arc from that tipsy house.
Through the intense strategy and artistry of Jian.
To this elegant life in Manhattan. It's a story of incredible resilience.
It really is. And the way she reflects on it at the end. There's this moment with a moth she'd kept.
Ah, yes, the preserved moth.
She touches it after years and it just disintegrates. Instantly turns to ash.
The past, literally crumbling.
Exactly. And she realizes the past was gone. I felt as though I'd turned around so that I no longer faced backward toward the past, but forward toward the future.
That's the real turning point, isn't it? Letting go of what was, even the preserved memories, to face what's next.
A powerful moment of clarity.
Yeah.
It makes you think about the things we hold on to, maybe things that have already turned to ash without us realizing it.
Which brings us to that final thought for you, listening.
Yeah. In your own life, what pieces of the past, maybe memories, maybe old hurts, maybe even old successes, are you still holding on to? And what might happen if you recognize they've turned to ash? What direction would that force you to look?